Well, experts are saying that ethnic minority groups should be prioritised for the vaccine as the jab begins to be offered to those over 70. Various minority groups have been shown to be at higher risk from the virus. SAGE experts have also expressed concern at figures that suggest that 72% of black Britons would be unlikely to take the COVID vaccine. Well, I'm now joined by expert in communicable diseases, Dr. Bharat Pankania. Bharat, afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Are we rolling out this vaccine in the right way?
So far, so good. It is ever so difficult to identify all the priority groups and immunize all of them. So we have so many push and pull issues, the elderly, the frail, the vulnerable, and then we have young people with several comorbidities who also need to be immunized as fast as possible. So it is difficult. And I hear myself, I am a BAME person, and I hear fellow colleagues and others saying they are also at-risk group. And my take is that we identify all at-risk groups across the board and do the immunization as fast as possible and cover as many people as we can.
Bharat, as we're speaking, I'm just hearing that we have sadly now passed the 90,000 deaths here in the UK. This is a milestone which everybody was fearing. What do you make of that development now?
It's very sad. It's very sad because here we are, the United Kingdom, a first world country with an efficient healthcare system, and we're affluent. And for us to have such a high number of deaths is depressing. And I just wish we had done a few things better and not had so many deaths. It is very, very disappointing, very sad. These are people's brothers, sisters, and parents.
The vaccine, though, you said so far, so good at the very beginning of our conversation. Interesting enough, going back to also the topic about BAME groups, we did mention a statistic that something like over 70% are not trusting the vaccine. Well, if that's the case, we're going to see even more deaths, aren't we? So why is it that there's a lack of trust in that group more so than others?
Yes, it's probably a mixture of, uncertainties, and then they are also fed with a lot of false, fake media. So to share with our viewers and listeners, this is what I did with the MMR vaccine uptake or reluctance of it with a certain community in the Bristol area. I went to them, I spoke to them, I asked them what their concerns were, I identified the issues and showed them what the vaccine does, what it doesn't do, and eventually, it took me a month of good solid legwork, and eventually they came around and started to immunize their children. And it is that sort of community information, reassure them, answer their queries, and be sincere about answering their queries will get more acceptance of the vaccine. It is a lifesaver, and I hope we start doing these information campaigns as soon as possible. It is an urgent matter.
Are you happy with the numbers now getting vaccinated at this rate? As I said earlier, you were quite happy with the rollout, but the numbers as we see at the moment, is that the target you think that we are in line with?
We can do better. We can do much better. And I have always advocated that we do as many as possible, as fast as possible, even a 24-hour, 24/7 operation. The trouble is, and this is the trouble, we haven't got a large stream of vaccines in supply. We've got the orders in place, but that doesn't mean the vaccines are in the bottles in the hands of the immunizers to immunize the people. So the bottleneck is the supply chain. And unless the supply chain improves, we can't just carry on mass immunization because we haven't got the bottles in our hands.
And just a final thought, restrictions still should be tight. There's no way that we should become complacent, particularly those who've been vaccinated.
No, we have got very high case numbers, and only today I was looking at my case numbers in my part of the country where I'm helping, and we get used to 700 per 100,000 cases, etc. That is too high, and we've got to maintain all possible infection control measures. They are coming down because of restrictions. We need to bring them down, and then help will come with the arrival of the vaccines and large number of people immunized.
Dr. Bharat Pankania, thank you very much indeed for joining us today live on RTUK. Pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.